There was a time not long ago that it was common to see smoking on television. In fact, people thought that it was cool. I'm Dr. Freda Lewis Hall, Chief Medical Officer of Pfizer. I'm here today talking with the legendary talker Larry King about his iconic smoking and what finally made him stop.
Oh, in the 50s, I started broadcasting in 57, started on television in 59, through all the 60s. Into the 70s, everybody smoked. Engineers smoked, broadcasters smoked, newscasters smoked. And I did my television show. I did it once a week, then I did it nightly, and I always smoked. Johnny Carson smoked every night. It was Edward R. Murrow, the legendary newsman. He lit one cigarette in the morning, and that lit every other cigarette. So there was a cigarette going every time. I never was without a cigarette when I was on the air, ever. I don't know when that changed. Maybe late 70s. When I started on CNN, I didn't smoke on the air at CNN, but I kept a cigarette lit underneath the desk so that I wouldn't have to wait to light it up when I broke for a commercial. So I think it must have ended in the late 70s.
So let's go back to the beginning though. How old were you when you started smoking?
17.
And what made you start?
Well, my father died of a heart attack when I was 9.5, and I have great memories of him, and he always smoked Philip Morris cigarettes. I remember the package, I remember what it looked like, so I figured I better try it, and at 17 I tried it, and the first time I tried it, it tasted terrible, and then I tried it again, then I got to like it.
Was there a point at which you realized it wasn't just a habit for you, that it felt more like an addiction for you, that your body
Oh,
needed it?
I think pretty much it was an addiction.
Now, sometimes when you have a need or something that you really like, you're willing to do extreme things
I'll give you one.
to serve. Okay, give me one.
All right, I'm living in McLean, Virginia, in Arlington, Virginia, doing my radio and TV shows, CNN, and it is a terrible snowy night. It's 2 in the morning, and I woke up and I'm out of cigarettes. Now, understand, when a smoker wakes up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom, you smoke. So it's automatic you'd light up a cigarette. So it's the first thing I reach for. Now, no cigarettes. Now I'm crawling around the floor looking for possibly a cigarette butt that I might have thrown away that I could light, at least get a couple puffs and go back to sleep, but no cigarettes. I got dressed, a snowstorm outside. I go downstairs, and the car couldn't get out of the garage because the snow had piled up. So I had to walk to a 7-Eleven 3 blocks away in a driving snowstorm with galoshes and the snow hitting me in the face. I almost tried to run. I go into the 7-Eleven, go behind the counter, take out a pack of cigarettes, and light it up before I paid. That's what an addiction is. It controlled me.
Now, was that a point at which you said, okay, enough is enough?
No, no.
Still not?
Though I had a definitive point when I stopped smoking. You always remember the day. This was very definitive. It was February 24th. It was 1987, and I had a heart attack.
Just
I
stopped.
I stopped at age 53. Had I not had a lucky heart attack, I would have died. I'd have never made it. I'm 80. So that was 27 years ago.
So, did any guests ever complain about your smoking habit?
Most of the people around me smoked. And I would get mad at people who got mad at me. Occasionally people would say, I remember this was terrible. I had a doctor on my radio show, and I was smoking. He came in and he said, if you're going to smoke, I'm not going to be on this show. So I said, okay. And I lit up a cigarette and I put it down. And every commercial break, I would run out of the room and smoke outside in the hall and come back. I remember when they stopped smoking on airplanes, except for the last row in first class and the last 3 in coach. And I was flying on U.S. Air from Pittsburgh to Washington. There was no first class. So it was just the last 3 rows of coach. And we went into the last 3 rows, and we were all smokers. And the one guy came running on the plane, the last passenger sat down. The pilot comes on and says, the last passenger who arrived is a non-smoker, and he therefore asked that no one smoke around. Any one person could make it a non-smoking plane. So this one person decreed, well, you know what we were doing? Listen to this. We blew smoke in his face. blew smoke in his, all of us, all the passengers. We were that angry. It was a 40-minute flight. The pilot came on and said, if any person does this again, we're going to have them arrested when we land. So these were three grown men smoking in this guy's face. That's how stupid we were, but that's how guilty we were of this obsession, which is what I call it, obsession. But I don't miss it. I never smoked again, and now I can't stand it when I'm rarely around a smoker.
Do you find yourself trying to educate people and
I
have an
try.
impact on smoking?
Larry
or-
Hagman worked on me, the late
did.
Larry Hagman. I was his sponsor. He sponsored me to try to get me to stop smoking. He called me every hour on Stop Smoking Day, and I tried. It didn't work. Now in broadcasting, everyone smoked, and now I'm in broadcasting every day. No one smokes.
Did you think it was a part of your image? Like,
Never
did
thought
you
about
need
it.
it
No,
or no?
I liked it. I
You just liked it.
I just, image. It's such a habit. Many times smokers would understand this. You had three going at once.
So yeah, if you could go back and talk to your 17-year-old self, what would you say?
I'm often asked, sometimes asked, if you could change one thing in your life, what would you change? The day I started smoking. If there were one change I would make in my life, it would be a 17-year-old boy who started smoking, didn't start. That's it. That's the one change, biggest change in my life. I just would not have started.